My name is Brick Gill, and me and my partner, David Gear, will be creating a video live here from Memorial University of Newfoundland. We both have Bachelor of Physical Education degrees from here at Memorial University and are currently completing our education program here.
My name is David Skier. The purpose of our vlog today will be to inform you about some model-based approaches. The one we will focus on today is teaching personal and social responsibility. Throughout this video, we will hope that you will gain some insightful knowledge with regards to this model. For each topic that we discuss, we will travel to a different location within the St. John's area where you can be physically active. So follow me and let's go.
We're here at Memorial University Fieldhouse, a public place in St. John's where you can come and get physically active. To start talking about model-based approach, Kirk defined this as the means to overcoming the limitations of traditional physical education. Now we're going to talk about why a model-based approach is important. Like Kirk said, a resolution to serious problems of traditional physical education. Also, we know physical education is becoming less and less in schools, and in order to fix this problem, we want to have a radical reform. So some of the important factors are old physical education was all about traditional athletes, and not everyone was included, and it was focused on traditional sports. But we want to get everyone engaged, participated in a variety of activities, and we want everyone to be included.
We are now here at the beautiful Kitty Vitty Trail. There are lots of trails around the city to hike and walk on, which is very highly recommended. TPSR stands for Teaching Personal and Social Responsibility. The ultimate aim of TPSR is to develop our students as individuals. This can be done through learning the responsibility about how they conduct themselves with others. As educators, we have the incredible responsibility of not only teaching students the required curricula, but also teaching them life skills which can be valuable to them in the future. Teaching personal and social responsibility was created by Don Hellison. He is a professor at the University of Illinois at Chicago in the United States of America. He works with the Urban Youth Leadership Project, and through his personal experiences working with at-risk youth, he created this approach. This approach can be applied to physical education teachers, coaches, and youth workers. There are three broad goals associated with this approach. One is self-responsibility for one's effort and self-direction. Two is social responsibility for respecting the rights and feelings of others and for being sensitive and responsive to the needs of others. And three, group responsibility for teamwork and group betterment.
We're at one of the beautiful parks in St. John's, Bannerman Park. It's a public place for you to come and get physical activity. There's swing sets, there's playgrounds, there's a field to play in, there's a pool, a track, and many other things for you to use. Now we're going to talk about the two types of responsibility. Personal responsibility and social responsibility. According to Success Integrated, personal responsibility is defined as someone who's willing to try new experiences, someone who is willing to work on their own, and someone who is trying to plan and develop a plan to enhance their own well-being. An example of this will be someone who is in your physical education class and willing to try all the new activities that you propose to them. Social responsibility is defined as someone who respects the feelings of others and is sensitive and responsive to the well-being of others, both inside the physical education classroom and out. An example of this would be someone who provides feedback to their peers that is positive.
So we are here at Tim Hortons Field. It's one of the many softball and baseball fields we have here in the city of St. John's. It's a great way to be active, come out with your friends and family and play some softball. According to Don Hellison, the TPSR model has 5 levels of responsibility. Level 1 is respect. Students control their own behavior and show respect for the feelings and rights of others. An example of this would be controlling their temper and including others in the class.
Level 2 is participation and effort. The emphasis is on helping the students participate in activities that can become an integral part of their lives. An example of this will be participating in all activities and putting a good effort forward. Level 3 is self-direction. Students assume increased responsibility for their work and their actions. An example in this would be working independently or setting and working towards goals. Level 4 is caring and helping others. Students are helped to develop interpersonal skills and to reach beyond themselves to others. An example of this would be helping classmates and leading or teaching others. And finally, level 5 is transfer outside of the gym. This is understanding the value and relevance of these skills beyond the program setting. These skills can be transferred into many different aspects, such as home life and when hanging out with friends.
Now we're going to talk about TPSR formatting for lesson plans. So here we have an example. It starts off with your normal information such as your date, student's grade, previous experiences, accommodations, and your outcomes. But the main parts of the TPSR include the relational time, which refers to the informal one-on-one interactions the teacher has with students that help create a welcoming environment and basically establish personal relationships. So this can basically happen whenever the time arises, before or after lessons, during such things as instant activities or stuff like that. Next would be an awareness talk. This is a brief structured meeting that officially begins the lesson. During this talk, you would usually just take a few minutes to go over the plan for the day, get some input from some students, and remind them of the goals and objectives that they're trying to reach. Thirdly would be the physical activity. So this is the majority of the lesson, obviously, and could involve any age-appropriate activity that meets the outcomes. And this would just be, like I said, the majority because it's what you're trying to do to reach the outcomes specifically. Next would be group meeting. After most of the time is passed in a lesson and the physical activity is completed, you'll bring everybody in and discuss the lesson. This will give you an opportunity to share their opinion about the lesson, suggestions, comments, and just have a whole conversation about that. And lastly would be the individual reflection. Reflection time is basically the last few minutes of the lesson where you're asked the students to reflect on their own attitudes and behaviors during the lesson. They get to reflect on how they felt they basically behaved throughout the lesson and how they can either keep that up or improve it for next time. So those are basically the 5 things according to the TPSR Alliance, and you can find those online if you need more clarification.
I'm here at the Memorial University Gymnasium. There is lots of opportunities here for the public to play lots of different games, activities. So in relation to TPSR, there are 3 strategies that we determine are very important. All right, so one teaching strategy is modeling respect. So the students will realize the way that you talk and the way you act around the class, and it will be more likely that they are going to display a positive attitude if you as a teacher displays a positive attitude. The second is the promotion and awareness of the different goals and levels associated with TPSR. This is incredibly important as the students become familiar with different levels that they should try to obtain throughout the class. Done through interaction with the students, with teachable moments. Strategy number 3 is self-reflection. This can be important for the students as well as the teacher. Students have the opportunity to reflect on how their class went, what they learned, how their attitudes were, those types of things. This can be done through different ways of assessment, such as a ticket out the door or a think, pair, share. It's also important for a teacher to self-reflect so we can realize the things that we can improve upon as teachers to benefit our classes in the future. So don't forget to get physically active.
Hi everyone. We just wanted to say a quick thank you. One thing we wanted to leave you with was about the conference that's held annually. I hope that you all make a great effort to attend and learn a lot so you can implement in your own classroom.